Hi, it's Nancy welcoming you to Gardens Grow. When I talked with you last on a post, I had finished trimming up some things and I was going to try to do some liquid edging and fix these little pots, which I actually did find some hooks that I could put them on with, but they are dropped down quite almost to the ground, so I'd kind of like to have them up a little higher. But right now that'll do until I decide what or if I want to do something different with it. So I feel like I had a really good day's work or accomplishment. Not excited about the work, but I do get excited about an accomplishment. But I'd be glad when I get to just relax some in the garden and not be so tense from all the work and having to redo things all the time. I'd be glad when I can just sit out and watch the birds to the point they get used to me and don't even seem to mind. That would just be great. I got a little shaky picture of a male cardinal, and I think he's keeping watch out for his little female. She's building her nest over there where I showed you. She's not sitting on it yet. She hasn't finished building it, but I think he was keeping watch for her. One of the things I've learned from gardening is that the evergreens and the willows are a calling card for bagworms. I did spray these yesterday, and in time for them to still work, even though we did get rain, and I'm always excited about getting rain. I also did get a great deal of my seed put in little pots all around the garden, and then they did get rained in, so I'm excited about that. I was so tired, I really didn't want to put the seed in, but I'm so glad I did, and I knew that would be the case. That's why I kept pushing myself. I've been pushing pretty hard now ever since we started cleaning out the garden in February. There's always been so much to do that I can't get it all done in a day's time, and I just have to keep going and going. And then of course there's other life matters that have to be done, or that we definitely want to get done and to not miss. I've had some really wonderful fun times too, taking my niece and her boys to the Wichita Mountains and being together there. And then I had my girlfriend out to see the garden. She hasn't been out in a long time, and it was just so wonderful to just be in each other's presence and enjoy the time that we had. But it's just, you know, when you have so much to do, it's always pressing on you. You just kind of feel guilty when you even enjoy yourself doing something. But I am feeling a little bit of relief today once I got those done. There's still things I want to try to get done today, and then I'm also planning on going to a graduation. My niece's daughter, my great niece, will be graduating from high school. Another wonderful thing that I hope to get to enjoy with them, to celebrate. And I had not yet looked at the rain gauge, so I'm a little bit excited. I thought we probably got a good ½ inch, and look, we got just a little over an inch. So now that makes a good 3 inches. It was a little under last time, but that should at least even out. And on top of that, we're supposed to get more rain tonight, which will be wonderful. Today I need to get some computer work done for one thing, but for another, I would like to get some petunias that are coming up way too thick in some of my pots and transplant some of those right out here. I do have some marigolds coming up here. I think I will leave those. And I would like to put a few more seed of some different things. Marigolds is one of them, actually. But in this, I would like to get the little petunias, or even I can tell there is some zinnias coming up here. And these are most likely the short container type or front border type zinnias, which are great. The Zahara are a short zinnia with a full bloom, like as if they were on a regular size zinnia, regularly tall zinnia. And then the profusion zinnias are smaller, but they just put out a profusion of zinnias, and they look like, each little plant looks like a bouquet of flowers in the late summer and early, well, all the way till frost. And I wanted to take a look at my little new cactus. This is a crown of thorns plant, and I want to get my sister a piece off of this as soon as possible. I wonder if I could just clip the top out of it, but I'm not sure. I don't want to destroy it for sure. But as soon as I think I can, I'm going to try another start. I tried it from a leaf, which did not work. So, but this is what happened to my other one. And I had given her a start off of it, so she gave me back a start off of it, and it's doing good. But this little one, I just wanted to make sure after our rain, that's what happened to the other one. It got rained in, and for some reason it didn't drain, and I figured it would, so I was busy with other things and didn't get around to taking care of it. So it died. It totally died. I kept trying to think maybe it'll still come out of it, but it never did. So, but I do have another start from Kathy, and also I have this new little one, and it will be a pretty yellow. The other is a beautiful salmon pink or coral color. And this one, I'm sure this one died out of this pot. It was just a begonia, a small begonia. But I have this pot reserved in my mind for my polymer prints, which should be coming in the mail soon. Actually, I think that I may go ahead and dig this little plant up and just see if it might start somewhere else. But I'm feeling right now that it's not feeling very well. It does feel like there's some life in there. I don't know, but I'll see what I can do with this. So I've also learned that the begonias like African violet potting mix. So that's what I put in this little pot, and I did make it a slightly smaller pot, and we will see what will happen with this little plant. I also learned from my niece Lacey when she was doing her calabrachoa or mini petunias to put red rock around the stem so that it doesn't get too so that it drains better. It doesn't have water stay right up against it because the red rock are there. So I'm going to put some of that around it too. Here's my little cactus plant, and oh my goodness, look, here's a snail. I don't know if I got that in focus for you, but there's a snail in there. He is fixing to come out and go away. But I also have this little one ready to go again, and I think I'm going to dip out some rainwater and put put on it to give it an extra little start. And then here are some places where the petunias are so thick they will not be able to reach their potential like this. So I'm going to dig some of these up and put them back there in my little strawberry pyramid, where I hope they will do great. And they do have a great chance because of our rain and our cooler weather. I think it's only going to be in the 70s next week, or at the most the 80s. So I think they're all going to get a really good chance. Yesterday I filled up this whole seed box with seed, and so my husband's little radishes are going to have company. These, of course, just came up volunteer from last year's seed, which is great. I wouldn't mind if they didn't all do that, actually. But I didn't find any of my little purple globe flowers, which I wish I would have had some of those in here, and I may still find some of them. We'll see. I may not, because I'm so tired of looking and digging through and trying to do more than I can get done. But I'm just so happy that I got this done, and that I got it done in time for the rain. And I also wanted to say that I'm thanking the Lord, because I can feel Him with me this year doing this. So many times it's just been such a struggle, and as far as trying to get more done, it's been a struggle this year for me. But even yesterday when I was planting, I sprinkled little seeds in here, and the wind rustled them just a tiny little bit. And I thought of all the times when it blew them away, and I had to get a handful of dirt ready or soil ready at the same time that I got the seeds ready, so I could dash it on there to hold them down so they didn't blow away. But now they just did really well yesterday. I know that God was helping me. I just love it when I can feel Him doing that. And I know sometimes He just lets us, we got to be like these little plants. Another thing where life is imitating the plant life, because you just they have to have a period where they can, when they come out from inside to outside, that's another time when they totally have to regroup and go again. Oh, I hope my sister doesn't get upset at me. I brought this little peace lily outside because it will die inside for me. And this way it'll get tough, but until it gets tough, it's not going to look as pretty and healthy as it did inside. But once it toughens up, I think it's going to look even more healthier and put on some growth and be beautiful. And I definitely could say the same thing for this little variegated hibiscus, and it has a little hang down lantern type bloom when it blooms. It's just gorgeous. If you noticed it inside, it was so pretty, but it came out here and just got ratty looking. But I can see it's strengthening up already, and once it strengthens, I think it's going to be a beauty out here in the outside garden, where it can grow and be healthy and beautify my surroundings. And there were lots of pots I did not put anything in yesterday. Now this is not one of them, this tiered pot. I definitely put some zinnias in there. I put a mixture of pink and yellow. I think I put pink in one tier and yellow in the next, and then on down the line the same way. But all these pots around it, they don't have anything in it. I really will plan on putting some seed in there. And then one day I'm going to put these pots away in the winter time, so that they're not out here begging me to put something in them, because I will if I possibly can, and I'll stress out about it if I can't until I can. So I'm going to try to get rid of a bunch of these pots as far as using them each season, because they're not necessary, but they're here. And in my mind's eye, I keep thinking how pretty they would be with seed growing up in them. I need to redo some of these pots over here, although almost everything here has something coming up in it, so that's actually a very good deal. If I don't get back around to it, there will be something in them, but I would like to put some more zinnia seeds in these for color, for beauty and color. So put seed in all of these little pots except this little one. It's broken. I may throw it away. I didn't realize it had that big old crack in it. I did know that it was broken. I did that when I backed out one day and scraped the side of it. But I may just put another pot there, though. I think I'll go ahead and put something there and get it filled up with pretty flowers. They're transplanted now. The little petunias are all through the strawberry pyramid thing that I use for other things besides strawberries, but I still love this little pyramid. Just a little slight variance in height makes it look fuller and beautiful when it's all in bloom, which it wasn't at all last year, but the year before, I believe, I know it has been at some point, very filled out and pretty, and it'll even cover up the hose. You'll just see beautiful bloom there, and I'm hoping that will happen this year too. And it's so wonderful when you can work with God and nature. I thought about doing this yesterday so that they would have a chance to be watered in, but it was so much easier doing it today when the ground was soft to pull them up and the ground was soft to put them in. So we got that done. I did water them just a little bit, and it's starting to mist right now, so I think we'll probably have some more rain to get them in there, and I may even sprinkle a few. You'll notice there's quite a ways in between petunias, but I may sprinkle a few zinnia seed in there with them also. And I'm thanking God for giving me the things I needed to get the things done that I needed to get done. So nice. And I'm feeling a little bit of the pressure come off, and hopeful for better things and a little more rest in the future in the garden, because it has definitely been so much work so far. But God has definitely been with me all along the way. Speaking of things I learned in the garden, this is one thing I learned just recently, that the geranium spent bulbs should be taken off at the base of the stem, not just the leaf part. And I know this is true for begonia, so I learned that, but I just now learned this, to clip these back from the base of the flower when you're taking the old spent one off. And this is where I put my little Arkansas star plant. You can see the more needle-like foliage that it has. So pretty. And I'm hoping it will look good at the bottom of this shepherd's hook. And I'm pretty sure that it will. And then in the fall, this will turn a beautiful golden yellow, kind of like these miniature hollyhocks or verbascum are doing right now. And I pushed like crazy Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday I was still putting pots together, and I did a lot of seed too. I did do a lot of seed, but I finished it up Thursday, and not until dark. I was out here practically all day except for meals, and I was just so tired. Nothing had really been enjoyable because I couldn't find a place where I could feel like I'd left it at a good spot. But Thursday night I did. But at the same time, I was just so tired that I couldn't even enjoy that. I was happy that I got it done. but I don't think there's a pot in the garden, unless I accidentally missed one, that doesn't have, if it doesn't have a plant in it, it has a seed in it that hopefully will turn to gorgeous little plants, mostly zinnias, before the season's over. And that's including these little pots right here. They should be bursting with bloom before too awfully long. It'll be a little while, but hopefully they'll all come up. I know sometimes they don't, but I'm hoping they will this time. They have such a good start. I can't believe how good God was to me. He gave me rain, and then after I got the rest of the seeds planted in that I was trying so hard to get in, so I would hope that they got that rain, which they did, that we were, I started to say promised, but actually, we're never promised the rain, but it was in the forecast, so we were hoping. And then not only that, but after I did get them in Thursday, it rained Thursday night, another inch, so we just did good. It was so wonderful to get things done. Were definitely a lot of pots that I put seeds in, and I thought I was never going to get finished. It's amazing how much time it can take just to plant some little seeds, and then of course you have to go back to, or I did have to go back to my paper bag that I had them all in and sort through and decide which ones I wanted to put where, and then do those, and then go back and do that all over again. But I didn't spend a whole lot of extra time doing that, and it still took all day long to get it done. And my little seed box now doesn't just have radishes in it, it also has zinnia seeds, mostly zinnia seeds. I think I need to still find my little purple globe flower to put in there with it if I can. I'm not going to spend a lot more time searching through seeds to find them, though. If I can't find them quickly, they'll just have to be zinnia seeds and whatever else comes back from last year, like these beautiful bells of Ireland. And we had a graduation to go to several miles away, and so I really didn't know if I was going to feel rested enough from one night's sleep to get up and go full throttle the next day. But actually it was so wonderful. It was one of the most wonderful days I've had in a long time, because of having got that done that I had in mind to do. It just gave me such a relief feeling that I was just so happy, and also just plain I was so happy to get to go to my great niece's graduation. And I asked her younger brother how long it will be before we're coming to his, and he said 3 years. So he's anxious. Of course his mother's like, don't talk about that now. I'm still in shock and mixed feelings of happiness and grief over Katie's graduation. And I think I've pointed out to you before that my little strawberry pot is in the process of giving up the ghost. It's cracked everywhere. I've put some spray glue on it, which definitely has helped to save it for a little bit longer, but I know it's on its way out. I already have it filled up for this year, so it's going to be here for this year. Actually, let's go ahead and tell it like it is. It'll be here until it totally falls apart, because I can't stand to let anything go. But we stopped and purchased a new strawberry pot, and not only this, I had told my friend Susie about these, and she said she would love to have one. And so we also got her one and took it by. I got to see my mentor in life, the wonderful Christian lady, which is her mom. And she is 100. She's 100 years old, so she can't do a whole lot. But I think she was happy to see us. And it was just such a wonderful, good feeling. And I got to give Susie something. I can't tell you how much her and her family have given me through the years, and just the fact that they were there for me so many times when some of my world was falling apart, or just didn't have the foundation it should have to begin with. But they became a part of my foundation and totally showed me the true foundation of God and Jesus Christ. And they have just made a difference in my life. So it was a wonderful day. I'm so glad that we got to go. So glad for the happiness and love of family. I noticed my little asparagus fern is not coming back, and I may just be waiting a little, or not waiting long enough, just expecting it to be there a little too soon. But it may not come back this season. As I'm looking, I'm thinking, do I see some green right there? I think I do, but it's so little I don't know if you can see it, and I don't know if it'll come back. So when I was getting my strawberry pots, one for me and one for Susie, I also got this little asparagus fern to put in there, so it'll have something in there in that pot with it. And then I got another. This is a pretty orange coleus. And then where I didn't put seed were some of my pots in the back that are in the shade. And I thought, well, they may not be able to flower there. And so I did go ahead and leave those empty, and I will plan on filling those up with some of these shade plants. But I am definitely seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. You know how gardening is when you first start out in the spring. Oh my goodness, that's the very worst, hardest time for me, is cleaning all that mess out of the garden. Everything that looked beautiful last spring, by the next spring, is dead, all gray, ratty, ugly in the garden, and it needs to be clipped out. And when that happened, when that was all cleaned out, was my first and greatest joyous moment in the garden, that I literally got all that done, and it felt like a whole new lease on gardening, and it was just a wonderful feeling. But even though I do truly enjoy planting and fixing a pot and hoping that it'll be beautiful by the end of the season, this one right here is looking good on both sides, but the back plants are, well, two of them are those little scraggly window box plant, or window plants, window cuttings that I took from last year and saved through the winter. But this one that grew and was supposed to grow in the middle is totally gone, so I'll have to put something else there. And we're supposed to have some good weather this week, and I think maybe even the following week, which is so abnormal for Oklahoma, but it's our time, and I'm just going to revel in it. But even though I totally enjoy putting the pots together, it gets to be so much, and so much pressure, and the time pressure. And even this year it hasn't been such a great time pressure because the weather has been nice, when lots of times we know if we don't get it in before the heat comes, it doesn't have a chance. So it's been great, and yet we've had things to do, people to see, so many things that I wanted to do, and we did get a lot of that done. And then finally I got most of the planting done. It's true that there's just a little bit still to do, like these, and I'll find other spots, and I'll probably even find a pot that I forgot to even put seed or anything in. But it's such a relief to get it done, that much done, and it made such a difference in my day. Friday, I enjoyed my day from beginning to end, and we didn't get home till 12:30, and then I put the pictures on for my family, and for the ones that didn't get to go, I'm so sorry you guys didn't get to come. It was just such a wonderful time. I know you would loved it, and I know you wanted to get to come, but I know everybody understands how life is. You just never know if you'll get to do those things you want to do. But I'm so grateful that I did get to go and be there, and and love my family so much. My nieces and my sister. We've been through so much together, and will again. So much going on right now, but I just can't help but believe with God's help and our resilience and character and integrity that we're going to make it. So the peonies and the roses are, they're still here a little bit, and the clematis will soon, if not already, be going away. But you can tell that a new little season is beginning to open. One is fading away, and the daylilies are beginning to come out to shine. Look, Rosie. This is the little hibiscus I stole from you when I went to see Mama and you weren't home there. So this is what I took, and look how good it's looking. God just gave me that rain. That would have been enough if He just gave me the rain so I could go to see Katie graduate. But not only did He give me the rain, He gave me the cooler weather. I was able to get things put in the garden, even though I wandered and I didn't think I was going to, and I was sure I was going to play out. I totally felt just like my batteries. I was going on batteries, and my batteries had been purchased from some discount store, and they had been sitting on the shelf for 20 years. So they were just about to die the whole time I was out here. I was wishing I could have the same batteries that the Energizer Bunny had, but it just never happened. But God gave the increase anyway. Okay, we haven't really seen increase actually this is increase. This little thing has a root now, and it's started to put its root down, and pretty soon it'll put its foliage up, and then it'll have flowers on it, and that'll be wonderful. Big red Lord Baltimore hibiscus flowers. This is a pretty Keys of Heaven in bloom. And I'm seeing some pretty clematis right beyond it. I'm afraid this one still looks a bit droopy. I'm not sure what's wrong with it, but I hope nothing happens to it bad. I just want it to be in health and beauty all the time. So even though I did not see anything down at the base of the stem, just in case there's something there I'm not seeing, I'm going to go ahead and get some insecticide and spray around the bottom of this. This little fairy pink rose is looking great this morning, and I did get this little decoration put back on where it's going to stay at least for a while, so every time I water it doesn't fall off. But now that I've been working out here, I've got a few more that I knocked off while working around them that I need to, the next time I'm out here to water, where I can go over everything and check out everything, I'll try to carry some glue along with me and fix as I go. Be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel.